Ronda Rousey accuses Drew Gulak of inappropriate backstage conduct. Plus, an NXT star's WWE call-up is on hold, and a title match has been added to NXT Stand and Deliver. It's all in the Cultaholic wrestling news right now. So Ronda Rousey was on News Nation last night, and she's accused NXT's Drew Gulak of some inappropriate backstage behavior. She shared an incident that took place between the two during her time in WWE.
Yeah, she said, I was standing there and this guy I was barely an acquaintance with grabs the string of my sweatpants as I'm walking by. Nobody reacts as if this is abnormal. And he's going down the hall and I'm like, what the F is that? Why are you grabbing the string of my sweatpants? If my husband was standing there next to me, would you feel comfortable walking up to me and grabbing the string of my sweatpants? All the guys around me acted like this is part of the day. And if this guy was coming up to me and doing this kind of stuff to me when there are other people around, what's happening to these other girls when I'm not in the hallway? So it's definitely a strange one.
It is a strange story. She later confronted Gulak over the incident and recanted what she said to him. She said, if I ever hear you putting your hands on any other women like this or doing anything like this to me ever again, we're going to have a problem. And he was like, no, I'm glad you said something to me. And he backpedaled, but it put a sour taste in my mouth about the culture there and what is considered acceptable and how to touch and treat women in the hallways. Obviously, this is an allegation that's been put out there from Ronda Rousey towards Drew Gulak. It is a strange thing to do.
Yeah.
But if this is the case, it is a strange way to conduct yourself. But Ronda's been very outspoken about the culture within WWE in general. Not only was there that story from News Nation last night, but she was on Rachel Hollis' podcast talking a little bit more about WWE and what she described as an SH1T show.
Yeah, she said they will be, this is more in like the organizational sense. So she's spoken there about, well, she's spoken before about the culture backstage and given an example of how, a personal example. But now she's talking about how it's an SH1T show organizationally, I suppose. So she said they'd be changing the show until you got out there. A lot of the time you're doing these matches where not only do you not have the opportunities to rehearse, but they change it multiple times, cut your time multiple times. All the things you're going to say, they change multiple times throughout the day. It's a constantly changing script and choreography. I got frustrated to the point where I'm like, people aren't being allowed to do their best work. This lines up with all those reports, Raw rewritten last moment, all that sort of stuff.
She also says that she hopes that McMahon is gone for good from the company, excuse me, but doubts that. She says supposedly he's out now because of all the assault stuff that has come out. He's still running it through all his little cronies, she says. WWE needs to completely clean house. Supposedly McMahon is gone now, but I wouldn't be going back to work with him anytime soon because the last time he was gone, he was still running the show. Hopefully he is completely gone and they're running more responsibly and allowing people to rehearse.
Yeah, fair enough.
Which is a fair point, mate. So yeah, Our Fight is her new book. She's been on the press tour promoting that, and yeah, it's very no holds barred when it comes to her time in WWE.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like it's an interesting read. I haven't read it myself personally. Well, she said, when does it come out? I don't even
imminently
or not. Fair enough. But I didn't want to be like, I've not read it when it isn't even out yet. But yeah, it sounds like a very sort of scathing account on many fronts against WWE.
We'll keep you up to date on the stuff coming out of Ronda Rousey's latest round of interviews at Cultaholic.com. NXT last night, Roxanne Perez is set to challenge for the NXT women's title at Stand and Deliver, and her main roster call-up, whilst it feels like it's imminent, probably isn't at the moment.
Yeah, so regarding Roxanne Perez, Fightful Select's Corey Brennan has been told by NXT sources that Roxanne has impressed major officials in each of her main roster appearances and that her call-up was described as only a matter of time. But he goes on to say, that being said, some in NXT would like to see Perez stick around on the brand for the time being to allow her to continue developing her new heel character, which is said to have blown away officials, with some pushing for a Perez title win at Stand and Deliver.
Now, Fightful have also said that this year we were set to see Roxanne Perez reunite with Cora Jade to reform their tag team. Remember the best friends that sort of speed ran a best friendship a few years back? Gulak and then had the blow-up feud over it. Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez, both now baddies. They were going to find each other again in 2024, but that isn't happening. Obviously, Cora Jade suffered an injury at the start of the year, and that's sort of written her off. But otherwise, it's all praise for Roxanne Perez, saying she is someone who has been described as professional beyond her years by one source in NXT. Another noting that the sky is the limit. I think there's big plans for Roxanne Perez when they're ready to launch her properly.
Yes, I think so as well, because I think when she first arrived in NXT, she came with, even though she's still really young now, she came with this like immense indie experience for someone of her age, and you can just tell the way she moves in the ring, the way she puts together moves and sequences and everything. She's a very, very accomplished worker in the ring. I think she's still finding out her character here and there in NXT or in the WWE landscape, but that's fine, and there's always time to do that. But in terms of her skill set, I fully understand why they want her called up as soon as possible. But I also wanted to win the title because she's got a good storyline. It's kind of a Drew McIntyre-esque storyline going on. I never deserved to lose that title, and you all treated me unfairly when I was a good guy, so now I'm just doing what I want.
Like a redemption story.
But like an evil one.
Evil redemption story.
Yeah.
That evil redemption story could crescendo at Stand and Deliver. She's challenging Lyra Valkyria for the NXT Women's title. Last night on NXT, we found out who's going to be facing the Wolf Dogs.
And I'm quite surprised, Tom. I'm quite surprised. It's only Jersey's own Nathan Fraser and Spain's own. Well, no, Axiom's identity is a mystery, of course.
And comic books own.
Yes, Axiom. They defeated the Good Brothers and the LWO in a triple threat tag team match to earn the shot at the NXT tag team titles, currently held by the Wolf Dogs, Baron Corbin and Bron Breakker. And yeah, they'll face the champs at Stand and Deliver this weekend.
Quite surprised by that outcome. I kind of thought the Good Brothers would have it.
I also thought that as well.
To give us a big beefy boy battle.
And they've seemed quite heavily involved in the storyline. They've been kind of jousting with the champions backstage verbally and everything. Not literally jousting backstage.
I challenge you. Just Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson mounted on horses.
But an NWO horse.
Obviously.
So it's like, yeah. So it moves really slow.
Throw up the hooves.
But yeah, but they've been oh god, what was it? But they've been
about horses.
They've been involved in arguments and joking around with the champions and stuff. It seemed like it was going to be kind of a match that would put the Wolf Dogs in the babyface role as defending champions, which the crowd already loves them anyway, so it would have worked out. But now that it looks like they're going to be, the classic bigger, stronger heels, and we'll have to see how it goes. I've got no doubt that it'll be a well-worked match because all four guys are really talented.
Also added to Stand and Deliver last night on NXT, 6-woman tag action. Thea Hale, Fallon Henley and Kalani Jordan facing JC Jane, Kiana James and Izzy Dame.
Yeah, this is a nice match because it weaves together several different feuds that have been going on, and they've all the babyfaces have all joined forces against this sort of heel team that have also joined forces, all kind of falling naturally in line with each other. We often laugh, me, Matthew and Ross, we laugh about NXT storylines on the podcast, but this one has felt quite organic. And even though we do laugh about the storylines, I will say that the PLEs more often than not absolutely deliver in the ring. So I'm very much looking forward to Stand and Deliver. Me and Ross are streaming our reactions on Twitch on Saturday.
There you go. It's going to be a busy weekend with a lot of reactions.
Oh, hell yeah.
Busy week ahead. Are you twitching tonight, by the way?
I am twitching tonight, myself and Owen Mawson, twitch.tv/Cultaholic. The Fabes are flying, Tom. What can I say? Not the Fabes, the Swans.
I was going to say, I thought you were back with the Swans.
We're the Swans now. The Swans are flying.
The Swans.
The Swans are flying. And we'll just see how far we can fly this Swan, baby. That's 6 p.m. UK
Try
time.
not to be mean. They're protected by the Queen.
Yeah.
The Swans at twitch.tv/Cultaholic, 6 p.m. GMT. I know the Queen is dead. Leave me alone. And for the latest wrestling news throughout the day, you can check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.